All right, folks, good morning. Let's see, I got volume. I do have volume. Good morning. Welcome back to the Coffee Run. It's John from Pro Craps over here in Wenatchee, Washington on Casino Gaming TV. I just got back from a 3-day trip. There was obviously no shows Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday this past week because I was out. I was actually down in California filming some videos for LinkedIn Learning. So as you know, I'm an instructor as my day job. And I was out there teaching MongoDB, did some code challenges, and got 3 days in a real studio. It was cool. I got some good behind the scenes pictures of the way they do things down there, but it was a headless episode or headless series of videos. So I was on camera twice just for the introduction and the outro. So I had like this whole day where it was like, as you can imagine, probably 45 minutes of what they call hair and makeup. No hair, obviously, but they made me up, got me all pretty, cut my eyebrows and stuff and all that. And then I went into the studio, and it was awesome. It was like this. I have pictures of it. It's like a big old room. The whole thing is black because all the soundproofing stuff and the fake desk and everything else that was in there. I got behind the desk and did my shots. I was probably in that room for about 5 minutes. Like I literally went in there and I nailed my 2 takes. In like I probably took 3 takes to do the 2 15-second videos, and that was it. And then we were done. So it was like all this lead up to like this tiny little thing. But it was cool watching how they really do things like in a real environment, like how they really soundproof, how they really do lighting. I got to talk to the guy for a while about just how things work, and it was really awesome to kind of be a part of that. So anyway, I got back last night, I think at about, 1 in the morning. We had a lot of flight delays. There's all sorts of weather out here in the Northwest. There's snow everywhere, and everything was delayed. So I got back super late last night. So I haven't done a ton of show prep today. So if the show today sucks, then I'm sorry, but I wanted to make sure I came back and got to say hello, everybody. So who's here? We have about 6 people here so far. Late arriving crowd, because I know you're not used to me being here. But anyway, let's get after it here. And I may have something fun for you. I'm not sure how well it's going to work today, but we'll talk about it here in a minute. Let's see. Why is that on screen? Hold on 1 second. I got to get over here. I got to get here. See, I'm all verklempt here. Let's go here. All right. So before we start really getting into it. And actually, one of my plans is I kind of teased this last week. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this little talk that we do every day like a little 15-second commercial, and we'll make that the new lead-in. So when I press the go button, instead of the coffee stirring, you'll see this, and you'll hear me talking about it. That way, I don't got to repeat myself every day. But anyway, reminder as we go through our show today. As you watch other people's shows, as you engage with strategies, as you watch anything gambling related on the internet or read any books, use this filter, please. Okay, I do worry, and I know other people do too. Like worry on our behalf that we're all a bunch of degenerates that are looking for the next big thing, and it's just not out there, right? But we're trying to be finding ways here to have some fun. Win more often than we lose, and lose less often when we do, kind of a thing, right? So here's what I want to say to you. Remember to filter what you hear me say and what you see on other shows through this lens. Have a goal. When you're at the casino, have a goal. Play with purpose, okay? That purpose could be 15%. I'm building the bankroll. That purpose could be $1,000. I'm buying a new refrigerator if I win today, or I'm going to take a trip if I win today, right? That goal could be I'm here to have fun at a bachelor party. That goal could be I'm here to waste 5 hours because I got a bunch of friends in town, right? Know that going in and have the proper bankroll with you that supports the goal, right? Sometimes you're going to have bankroll and use a bigger chunk of it as leverage for bigger bets quicker, like we'll do today to win that 10%. Some days you have a bigger bankroll and do tinier bets. You can last a little longer and maybe grind a little bit. Make sure your bankroll supports that and it can handle the inevitable loss. Okay, understand your appetite for risk, right? Play in ways that match that. If you're a high risk person, right, you're going to have a really bad time if you're playing super low risk strategies. You follow me? It goes both ways. Identify opportunity, and then again, that opportunity might be to leave with money. The opportunity might be to say, I'm in the middle of something cool. Let's lean into it, right? Have a proper strategy that you think is going to make you win and that you're going to enjoy playing. Right? Play at the right place, play the right game at the right place, keep your emotions in check. Your mind kind of brings that all together, connects everything. And of course, without discipline, nothing works anyway. So, all right, there we go. Now, moving ahead into what I want to talk about here today is this. One, reminder, Casino Quest Nexus. I'm doing work with David at Casino Quest, David and the whole team. We're building out a new website, new community platform that should be launching this week or early next week. So that's going to be pretty cool. Vegas Day Tripper's here. He did a live yesterday with, I'll put you up on screen. Good morning, dude. He was live yesterday with Alex from CQ. I think Bluff showed up for a little bit there, so that was cool. Anyway, the CQ Nexus is going to be launching soon. It's sort of a joint thing. It's going to be bringing together our community, plus teaching what I just taught, a little bit about being normal as a whatever, not normal is the wrong word, but a little more measured, right? Along with their bridge series, as well as just bringing us all together with a series of videos, right? It's going to replace Patreon and their website. It'll be all in one place. It'll be really cool. Anyway, I do want to jump in here a little bit and talk about the Shooter of the Year competition and the Strategist of the Year competition. So George from CY has put the preview video out. He's announced that we're going to do both of these things. The Shooters competition, I think we know how that's going to work. We've done it. This will be our third year. We're actually going to get pretty good at it. I think we're going to use, a common platform for it. So all the screens will look the same. You'll have a little bit less, I want to say, disjointedness, I guess. So it'll be more consistent. But we know how that competition works now. We get our field. We have, round by round by round. We whittle it down to who's got the longest rolls going forward. That one's pretty well unlocked. It works really well. We have great stats on it. It's super fun to watch. My favorite part about that is just seeing 60, 70, maybe this year 100 people shooting the dice on their own tables. It's awesome to see that this game has got that kind of interest. The other one, though, is the Strategist of the Year competition. And this one there's some debate about, especially internally, but I think since we talked about it on Craps Chat, a little bit of external debate too. So in chat, and how many of you are you here now? We have now 13 people. Wow, a really slow crowd today. I want you to be thinking about this. I may come back and revisit this at the end of the show, but think about, to you, what does the Strategist of the Year look like to you? If we're going to run a competition, like a bracketed kind of a thing, right? What does it look like to you? Is it somebody who can come up with the best strategy, right? Maybe it's the Horseman, maybe it's the Arnold, maybe it's whatever the strategy is, right? Is the person who developed that and that strategy works well throughout a competition the Strategist of the Year? Have they created the best way to play that's consistent, right? Or is the Strategist of the Year somebody who can jump onto a table and sort of bob and weave and change and move and do their thing while they're playing, okay? Both of those swim lanes have merit to me, right? The person that came up with the best, whatever, I hate to say the best, but the person who came up with a solid way to play that survives and wins is a great strategist. A person who applies strategy in real time, also a good strategist. What worries me about the second one is you're going to have, we're doing the whole thing in Crapsy, by the way, with live shooters. So shooter's going to go and throw the dice. You'll have all the competitors in Crapsy at the same time, so 30 people at once betting, right? The problem I see with that is everybody's going to see everybody else's leaderboard. So you're going to know who you're chasing, which means you're going to have people rail dumping, making dumb bets to try and catch up to leaders. So I worry that all of us playing the same time in Crapsy is going to lead to people doing things they wouldn't normally do just to win. You follow me? So that worries me about that. And I'm wondering from you all, what kind of guardrails you could see us doing, or which of those versions of it do you want to see more? Do you want to see the best crafted strategy or the best live player? But the best live player, how do we guardrail them from not doing stupid shit, right? Because you know how this goes. Somebody could just drop, $500 on the horn on a whim, and the last throw of the day is a 12, right? So we have to think about that. And how do we mitigate some of these potential, I don't want to say cheating, but potential for humans to want to win, right? And I think that's a part of that worries me. So I would like to know what you all think about that. And again, you're the viewers and the consumers of all this, right? What do you want to see? You want to see somebody doing that? You want to see somebody who crafted a great way? You want to see us letting them play live, but with some kind of a, some kind of a bet spread warning or something like that, like where you can't go from 0 to $500 on some wacky bet. I don't know how to police that. Anyway, that's my thoughts, and I want to get your thoughts back on that. So if you've got something you want to talk about in chat with regards to that, let me know here. I'll pass it to George, and we're having a great conversation about it, and the back channels is the right way to sort of structure things. So love to know from you what you want to hear. So VDT says this: going live is not easy. More of us, more props for you doing it. It is hard, right? It's hard to go live every day. Now, at least you get to narrate your own throws, right? You're at the casino doing the narration. What you found was trying to get the camera right? You doing all this stuff. You remember in the early days of our friend Gamble with Jimmy, his channel, he wore a GoPro. Remember that? And like the first 15, 20 videos, it was like the camera was, you get seasick watching that kind of stuff. It's very, very hard without a stable mount. Like I said, I want to try the glasses. I want to get the Ray-Bans. They'll work great, by the way, for bubble craps. They're perfect for bubble craps. They're perfect for maybe roulette, where you're not moving around so much. For craps, there might be too much of this. I don't know. It might be like see the dice and catch all that. So we'll see how that works. But yeah, it's hard, man. It's hard to know what to say. When you're throwing live in a casino, it's hard to be talking and not screwing yourself up because you're going to forget bets. You're going to mess your throw up. It's a whole thing, right? So props for even doing it live, and that's amazing. And of course, with getting some permission to do it is critical. So I'm glad you did that. It was pretty awesome. It's super fun. JR asked a really good question. This is going back to the competitions, and we're going to go back to the shooter of the year. And he says, why must it invariably be longest roll? Why can't it just be consecutive passes, unspoiled, right? That's interesting. So one of the metrics that we have, and we use it, by the way, in the end of the competition, not in the beginning, and I've been kind of fighting for this to be in the beginning too, is a roll quality score. So, for example, roll quality, we award points, and I have it, the metric that I use in my, I can actually show, well, I guess I can't. It's kind of hard. Let me actually, if I can do it. If I go to daily paycheck, let's see if I have it here. Roll tracker. Geez, hold on. Casino gaming. Oh my gosh. Is that the one? Nope. Hold on. CasinoGaming.tv. There we go. Now, why won't it load the damn thing? Slash. Let's try this. So exciting, I know, but I want you to see this because this is an interesting thing. Why won't it roll? Casino Gaming. No, I spelled it. I can't spell. That's why. Casino Gaming TV. Aha, there we go. Okay, let me switch to this view here real quick. And I'm going to make this really big so you can see it. Let's go stretch this thing way out here. Okay, so now this is my stats. By the way, the stats from the morning shows. Okay, 730 shooters, which is about what we're going to get in the competition. Anyway, we do a thing called this RQS, is roll quality score. Okay, the roll quality score takes in a bunch of factors. Okay, for example, your come out winners are worth points. So you get a come out 7 or 11. We award you whatever the number of points is, 1 or 2, whatever. Come out craps takes points away. So if you're coming out and you get 2 7s and a 2, you might get 1 total point. +1, +1, -1 kind of a thing, right? You make a point, you get 10 points for making the point. For every box number that's hit during the roll when the puck is on, you get a certain number of points. So it brings this into play, right? We have the points made and missed. We have this payable hits per shooter in the box. So as you're rolling, when the puck is on, if you get, a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever number of box hits during the roll when the puck is on, you're awarded points for that. And you're awarded more points for the harder of the thing, right? So a 4 is worth more than a 6 in that scoring realm. So all that to say, let's go back to Ecamm here. Let's see, go back here. So all that to say, you get more points when the rolls are good for you. So that kind of takes what JR is saying here. It's not purely length, but length is a big part of it. And for whatever reason, we've elected to do that earlier in the rolls. So like, for example, in the early rounds, we really favor the roll length to weed everybody out. and then we start using the roll quality in the later rounds. I'd like to make the roll quality part of the earlier rounds too, because I've had a lot of rolls that are, I got knocked out the one year on a 9 roller, which was not bad. 9 roller is not bad. To somebody who had a 13 roller in the head-to-head, I didn't lose by much. That guy threw all horns and I threw all box numbers, right? I had a better roll than him, physically speaking, right? So that's the thing we're thinking about. Again, keep them coming. If you've got more ideas on how to make both of those better for you as the viewer, let me know. I'll bring this up every day for the next couple of days here. I want to make sure we have good feedback for George, and of course, with the crowd arriving so late today because I've been out for a week, I'm going to want some more eyeballs on this. So we'll talk about it again tomorrow. It's so weird. YouTube is so weird, right? My last show that we did, I had 40-something people watching, and it was last Friday's Follies, right? I take 3 days off, and because I'm not regular in YouTube, boy, we come back here and there's nobody watching. It's amazing how that whole thing works. So good morning, Dan. I'm glad I'm back too. Good morning, Waylon. Waylon did a premiere last night. Waylon, I want you to do lives, man. I know you had the premiere going, so you pre-record the video, you show it, and then you can chat with us, which is really cool. We got to get you figured out how you can go live, like really live, so you can throw and answer questions about what you're doing in real time. So that'd be cool. Yeah, Joe had a long roll. Good. Oh, good. I'm glad I didn't watch. I literally woke up. I told you I got in last night at 1 o'clock in the morning. I woke up 15 minutes ago. I woke up just in time to make a cup of coffee and come down here. So I had not been paying attention at all. So, all right, here we go. Let's do some other fun stuff. I got 2 things I want to talk through. More questions for you. Okay, one is going to be this math test that I've got to get through. I want to do a thing where I test some math stuff out. And I want to get your advice on how we should do it. This is the thing that I'm kind of spinning in my head about the direction I want to take with this. So I'm going to go to, I'll change screens in a minute. We'll talk about that. And for Daily Dose of DI today, I may go and try some slow-mo with you. I've got some videos to share. I don't know if I can see them clearly enough to talk about them. So we're gonna try it. If it doesn't work, I'll do it again tomorrow. I'll have to do I'll record myself going over it and I'll play the video tomorrow. But hopefully, cross your fingers, I can do this live and be surprised along with you. So there you go. Here we go. Let's see. Let's go here. All right. Schedule a reminder. Casino Quest Bridge. In about 2-3 weeks, February 22nd, and then again March 22nd. The Atlantic City group is meeting in a couple of weeks, right? They're going to be at Caesars down there in AC. I think it's a big force multiplier kind of a thing. So get out. If you're on the East Coast, it's Chris, it's Craig, it's Jeff, it's Lou, it's I'm guessing Ted. I'm not sure who else will be there. Maybe NJ Polka guy will be there. Frank will be there. It'd be kind of cool. Throw some hard nines. Casino Tier Seminar March 7th and 9th. Saturday the 8th is sold out. Sunday the 9th, I think there are still a couple of spots open. I got to ask Ed. I was talking to him last night. And I forgot to ask him. I think Sunday still has some slots available. Big AZ's meetup is at the end of March, and the Brownwater Bash is in mid-May. I can't wait for that one. I'm planning to go to that. The only thing about the Brownwater Bash, I'm not sure when I'm going to arrive or leave. It may be early or late. My mother's moving from Florida back to Jersey, so I'm going to have to and she's moving in June. So I think I'm going to go to the Bash, go to Florida, help her pack, and then go up there. So that'll be it'll be weird. I'll be kind of there, not doing shows, and then of course doing the whole move thing. So you might have some no John time for a while, and I think it'll be okay. All right. So here's my math question. I made this statement on Craps Chat. And I basically said, F the math guys, right? And I don't mean that as literally as that sound. What's the screensaver mode? What happened? Hold on a second. Press back to exit. What happened? Wow, that's weird. My projector went to screensaver mode. Anyway, I want to talk about this bit of it where I said the short term versus the long term. We talk about this all the time, right? And the math guys, and I hate to categorize people like that, but the guys who talk about the math all the time, right? I'm talking about JB and PJ and this new guy, this delightful kiss boy. They're all correct, right? And we got to ground ourselves in this, right? When they say things like the house always wins, the house edge, you can't beat it. No matter what you do, all strategies end up losing in the end, right? And no matter how well you throw the dice, you're always going to be in a perfect pyramid at some point, right? And there's truth to that. I did my book of 720 rolls. There's outliers all over the place, right? I got a lot of threes, a lot of twos, tons of sixes, right? There's outliers in there, and you expect that, okay? However, if I don't stop at 720 and restart again, what happens is after 5, 6, 7, 10,000 rolls, the pyramid looks perfect, right? My SRR goes from 8 or 9 down to 6.5 or 6.2. My SOR goes from whatever, 5.5 or 6 back down to 4, 4.5. Over time, things equalize. As I say that, I'm thinking to myself, somebody just heard the gambler's fallacy. It's always going to come back, right? If you throw too many sevens now, you're going to hide sevens later, and that's not true. What that means is I might throw 7 or 10 sevens in a row, right? That doesn't mean that over the next X number of rolls, I'm going to throw 10 less sevens and it's going to equalize. What that means is over the next 1,000 rolls, I could throw a perfect series, 3,600, or let's use that number, 3,600 rolls. They could be perfect. I still have that weird 10 that I threw in the beginning, right? But 10 out of 3,600 is an infinitesimal amount. So it doesn't move the needle enough to change the graph. That's law of large numbers. Law of large numbers is that over the course of massive amounts of rolls, everything appears to be equal, the closer to the mean you get, right? In the short term, though, you're never going to be there. All these books of 720 that we do, and I'll talk to Ed about this too. It's an important point. These smaller books that we do of 720 rolls, where we look at those stats and then we make a change, look at those stats. That's the reality, right? We do live in the world where we have thrown 10,000 rolls in a casino, but not in one day. And in one day, you're in an outlier. You're always in some kind of a variant or an outlier while you're there. And that matters to me, right? The math people will say, over the course of all of your casino visits in your life, you're probably going to be down, and here's why. We all say, today at the casino, I did this. Tomorrow, I will do that. A week ago, I did this. And we look at things stepped, right? As a series of things that happen. And we forget that they're all part of the whole, right? That's the disconnect between us, quote unquote, and the math group. Now, I want to do a test that kind of proves this out. I don't want to prove it out, right? There's nothing to prove here. The math is true, right? There's no debating that. But there's also truth in that what happens in the variant is meaningful, right? The casino, like I say, they eat on that tiny percentage, that 1%, or even 0.5% over 1 billion outcomes. Every slot machine could pay 99.9999%, and the casinos would still make billions. That one part of 1% over hundreds of billions of spins in slot machines adds up. That's where they make their money. They don't care about variance. They care about continuity, right? We starve or feed on the short run in that variant, right? I want to find out, how do I toggle the lever and test that out for you? So what I'm going to do is write some wind crap stuff. And here's where I want your input, okay? I'm going to get into wind craps this week at some point, maybe over the weekend. And I'm going to really think about, how can I apply some guesswork or some test work to this, right? I'm thinking about having 3 players with a massive bankroll, and probably dollar-sized bets. Maybe like I'll do it bubble crap style, right? Dollar-sized bets, because the amounts don't matter, but I want them all to kind of last, right? And I'll just do the pass line parlay, a simple pass, or still a pass line play, right? I'll have one player, $10,000, dollar on the pass line, and just flat bet forever. Okay. I have another player with $1 on the pass line who's going to, every time they win $1, or every time they win some number, let's say they win $2 or $3, whatever we decide that number is going to be, resets their bets to 1, or resets their bankroll. So they'll put the $3 away, and we'll stash the winnings over here. At the end of all the rolls, we'll see if they have what's in their bankroll plus what they stashed away adds up to more than the guy that has played it all out. We want to see if money management, which was what that is. I win, buy in for 10 grand, bet $1, win $1, stash $1. Buy in for 10 grand, win $1, stash $1. Buy in for 10 grand, lose $1, right? Is that stashing of the dollar and never touching it again equivalent to or different than the guy that's just going to go $10,000 and run it out forever? I want to see that, because that's going to give us a little bit of a sense of short game, long game, right? I have another guy who's going to play to a different kind of win goal, and we'll do the same sort of thing. He might play 5 shooters, right? Every time we have 5 puck resolutions, that guy will stash his winnings or count his losses, and we'll track those 3 people separately. So one guy playing a certain number of shooters, one guy with a little tiny win goal, one guy just playing it straight up. That'll give us a good look at what does it mean to stagger stop and start, stagger stop and start, and play in some small variance. I may do the same thing again with the pass line parlay and a 1-leg parlay. So you win the pass line, stack it, win that parlayed bet, back to base, right? I may do it flat betted, and I may do that little bit of a thing where we say, does the bet amount matter? Does betting a different amount or betting in a different way matter? That's your first look at what a strategy does versus flat betting. Again, the casino's edge is based on flat betting forever, right? If we take a simple bet, parlay it up, win the parlay, come back down, stash the winnings. I want to know what that does. How does that change the number in the end, using those leverage profits for it? And again, I'll play 3 guys the same way. That's my first thought about how to test this thing out. And what I'm going to do is use the same set of rolls. And I've got my 7,000 rolls that I've done. That's probably not enough. It's only 700 and some shooters. I've got a set of rolls that were logged in live casinos. That's about 50 or 60,000 rolls, which is the same set. So we can run this test over and over again, not in simulation mode, but with the same set of rolls. So we get the same outcomes, the same rhythm, the same everything with all the different ways of playing it. That's what I'm thinking that I want to try. What does the short-term impact look like versus the long-term impact when you play it straight up versus when you apply some strategy to it? And again, tiny bit of strategy just to see what bet amount varying does as we go through. So let's see. JR says strong tactic, which is cool. I just want to see what it feels like, right? Everybody's got a bankroll management system in some way, but the math people, right, the statisticians don't take this into account. And I've been told by a few of them, I'm full of shit when I say money management is the secret, right? I fully agree. The math is the math. You ain't changing that. You're not going to change what happens long term. But if you vary what you do against that, I think that can make a difference. It may make a worse difference for you. I may make it worse. I'm open to that too, right? But I think if you vary what you do off that thread, right, that may change things. And so I want to take a look at what variance feels like. I'm going to try my best to code it up, and we'll see how it works. So that's a plan that I've got here coming up. So hopefully that sort of works. We'll see what happens. And again, the bet sizing doesn't matter. It's all about number of bets won or whatever it's going to be. So, all right, let's switch gears. And I want to do this with you. Hopefully, cross your fingers, everybody. I'm going to try and slow this down a little bit. Now, I've got some slow-mo video here that I've captured over the last couple of weeks, okay? So I'm going to switch screens to this, and it'll take me a second to get there. So there's that screen there. I'm going to take this. Give me a second here. I'm going to pull this up here. And here's my slow motion folder. I'm going to go through these with you. Now, I did pick one out. I'm going to show you. I'll close with this one here. We may not find it. I've been through one of these before. So I did find one good shot. This is me throwing in the evening. And I just basically took a couple of practice sessions. So let's take let's take this one here. Let's take the 28th, the first night. I'm going to double click that. It goes full screen. Now I'm going to try my best to kind of scrub through this video, and hopefully you'll see it. And if you don't see it, you're going to watch my head bobbing around here, but I'm going to try and zoom in as best I can and find one. So there's me getting warmed up. Let's go. I'm going to push through a couple, because the slow motion camera goes full speed for a minute. What I have to do is find the dice landing and sort of back it up a little bit. So let's see how this works. There's the dice landing. Back up a little bit. Okay, let's see play it through here. And this will probably still be full speed, I think. So I can actually hear my voice, so I know it's going to be full speed. Let's just verify that. Come on. Yeah, okay. So now the next time the dice land right there should be a slow-mo. Yeah, I can see them flying. Here we go. Here's your first look at the chopper in slow motion. It's going to be a freaking disaster. Let's see. Here they come. Come on, dice. Where you at? This might be hard to do live. I may have to go back and edit this thing down. All right. There's a terrible roll. So you see that right there? Hit pause. Those dice, and I say this a lot, right? Probably 90% of the time, the dice do that, right? The dice will be a cluster. They're going to hit. They're going to go in every direction. And that throw, both dice didn't stay spinning. They both flipped and flopped all over the place. Completely random toss. I did nothing with that other than they stopped a little short, right? The one die stays close to the wall. There's not a lot of after wall action. So if I don't get the spin I want, what I'm praying for is there's not a lot of movement after the wall. So I can call that one an okay shot only for that reason. Let's get back to this one. Let's try, oh, Jesus. Oh, let's go right. 817. Whoops. It's really hard to move this mouse that slow. All right, we'll go from here. What if I can? No, I can't do that. Let's see if I can use my arrow keys, but I can't. So it'll just take it a minute here to, at about 8 minutes and 12 seconds when the dice will land. It's the best I can do. Again, this is why we edit the videos down before we show them to you, because going through this kind of thing can take forever to get, there we go. Let's see what we got there. Look at that. Look at that white die just go crazy. No good on that one. Let's go to the next one. I'll try and find some interesting ones. Like there's a couple here I know where the dice click and clack when they land. You'll see, if I can find it, the absolute train wreck. Let's see what this one does. All right. 956. Come on, there we go. Ah. All right, here we go. Watch these dice. Ooh, okay, so that one was interesting. The blue die went crazy, but the white die actually spun a little bit. Do you see that? How it came off the wall, spinning a little? It kept its rotation a little bit. That was interesting. What do these over here do? This is kind of, I know, this is rough to watch. Okay, look at that blue die. That's cool. Let's go back a little bit. Now, I think the blue die does flip over on itself. Let's watch it come in again here. After the landing, it was still spinning counterclockwise, which is how I threw it. So let's see what the blue die does on this one, if anything interesting. Nope. Bullshit. It bounced way too high. We got lucky. Hit the inside of the diamond and it got lucky. So I saw the end of it spinning. That was crap. Okay, cool. Good. Let's see what do we have here. This one here. Come on. This is so, I know this is soul crushing to watch this. I'm gonna edit this back down. I wanted to show you live though, because this is what we go through, right? When you take slow motion, it takes forever, because look at this. It's a 2-hour long video that I've got to slide this little bar through and find a die on screen, back it up and look at it. It takes, as you can see here, an enormous amount of time to cherry pick what's interesting. Let's go back. Come on, play. Where are those damn dice? Where are they? Oh my goodness. If I touch the little bar, they're going to come flying, right? Here we go. A little bit, little bit, little bit, little bit. There they are. Okay, it's 631. All right, let's see what we get here. Okay, so that's interesting. What happened there, I want to rewind that one. Look at that white die over here in the corner. And the blue die just skittered in and barely touched that wall. Let's find out what happened. The blue die, remember, is the bottom die on this thing. The blue die is the bottom one. Let's look at that again. I wonder if these two dice hit. This might be an interesting case where they hit. I got to go back a little bit more. Oh. Is that the one before? Over here. 16. Watch the bottom die. The bottom die, yeah, that's super interesting. That's super interesting. Let's go back to that again. Okay, here we go. Watch the top die. I think the white die, I think, hits the bottom one, and that's why the white die goes into the corner. If it does, pay attention to how bad it is when they hit. I think this might be one where they hit. I think I might have went back too far. Here we go. Yeah, look at that. That's insane. The white die smacked that blue die and went completely cattywampus. That's so awesome. I love seeing that. 1630 something, right? 1630 something. Watch that again. That's just amazing. I say this all the time. We call it the kiss of death. Watch that white die hit that blue die and just go almost off the table. I'm telling you, the dice hitting each other is 1,000 times worse than the back wall. People think the back wall is bad. The dice themselves are their own worst enemies. Should be here in just a couple of seconds. 1635 or so, right? Bam. Holy crap, that thing just went completely nuts. But also, at the same time, let's go back again, 1630 something, right? Watch the blue die this time. This time, watch the blue die. The white die smacks the blue die, and the blue die essentially stays clean, right? It was spinning counterclockwise, right? Watch how little the blue die moves after the white die hits it. Oh, geez, I went way back too far. 1632. Here we go. Watch the blue die this time. The white die hits it. It kind of stamps it into the ground. Bam. It just kind of skitters up in there. Now, it doesn't keep its rotation going, but the top die hammers that bottom die, and it just kind of slides into the wall from that point forward, right? Better rotation, that blue die would have actually done something a little better than that. It stays up on a 1, but it rolled over a couple times. And again, when it rolls over a couple times, you're hoping that it doesn't roll over and every face shows. Anyway, that's that one. Let's go ahead a little bit here. Let's find another one. There's one there. Again, I'm looking to see like the dice coming out. Okay, here we go. Let's play that. We'll just do a couple more, and then I'll show you the one that I picked out yesterday. 19. Come on. Ugh, where are they? It's so hard to control this little tiny dial here. There we go. Oh, that's a disaster. Okay, look at that. They're a complete disaster. But the one interesting thing is the blue die, even though they were a disaster, like, I'm going to come back to that again. I think it's 920 right there. Pause. These are a disaster. Let's call a spade a spade. They're both flying in a billion directions, right? Watch how the blue die, though, still wants to keep spinning in that horizontal rotation. Now, again, we lost control of the axis, right? All 6 faces are flying around, but it still wants to spin in that direction, right? So there's something to that. And that's why I keep saying to myself, when I see this kind of thing, I realize that it wasn't a great result in terms of how all the faces were up, but it still wants to keep going in the direction that I started them in. That's the flea flicker chopper concept, right? Let's keep the thing spinning as much as we can all the way through. Now watch the blue. It's going to keep on spinning in the same direction that I threw it. Granted, we lost facial control, but it's interesting. All right, let's I'm going to stop here. Let's go stop that. We'll stop this. Okay. I'm going to show you this one only because of time. I don't want to be here for 11 hours trying to show you guys a bunch of slow-mo. I am going to break that video down into this. So what I'm going to have is I'm going to pick all those throws out like I've been doing and make little, I think this video here is 20 seconds, make little 20-second shots of just the dice. So you don't have to watch me going through it all. Here's one from the other day, from one of those 3 videos where everything works out. I'm going to show you this one here, and then we'll come back to the regular show, and then I'll pick them all out. But here's an interesting one. Watch this. Watch these dice. Okay, hopefully you can see that. I can't see the blue die from where I'm sitting, actually, because my thing's in the way. Let's look at that again. Watch the blue die, please. Watch the blue die only, not the white. The white die's a mess. The blue die stays spinning the entire way. Actually, the white die is spinning too, but the blue die actually is interesting. The blue die stays on that horizontal spinning axis the entire way through. Look at that thing. That one is up the whole time, right? Even the white die keeps spinning, even though we lost facial control in that one. This is what I'm talking about. These kind of throws here are the ones that demonstrate the possibility, in air quotes, of all this maybe being a thing. Come back over to this right here. That kind of shot right there. Again, it's not perfect. Both dice didn't keep spinning. It wasn't a great result, all that, right? But there's enough of that keep the rotation going in that bottom die in that case that you go, okay, there is something to that, right? And that's what I always talk about. I can show you, and there's probably in these 3 videos that I've got, there's probably 75 shots in there, right? There's probably 4 or 5 out of those 75 that'll do that or better, where they're both just going to stick and spin, or we stamp one in and it stays up. I'll pull them all out. And again, I will show you all the crappy ones too. Like I'm going to pull out the ones where they hit and they go crazy. I'll pull out the shitty throws. I'll show them all to you. I'll show you the bad and the good. But there's enough good in there that I go, right? That's all I want is that little bit of, wow, that's interesting. When I see like the way they keep spinning. So I'll keep that up. I can't do this live. Obviously, I'll be here for 7 hours trying to go through it. But to give you a sense of what I'm going through, when I give you the live video tomorrow or Monday maybe, you'll see what it takes for me to kind of slice out those little good snippets and make shorties for you. So there it is. Tom, the blue die is the bottom one. Okay. And so what I notice sometimes, and again, I've been through a couple of these about 2/3 of the way through. What I notice is, this is going to sound really stupid, so apologies. Sometimes the bottom die is perfect, sometimes the top die is perfect. But it seems like in a given session, this is where I find things very interesting. In a given throwing session, like one of these videos, the bottom die is beautiful all the time. Like that last shot, the bottom die just does its thing the whole video, right? Some other days, the bottom die is a disaster and the top die, for some reason, that day is staying and doing its thing. It's really weird. It's not like every throw is so different. It's like every day is different. And that's why I talk about these variances. Every day, your throw is different. And you're like, well, today's the day that the top die is doing its thing. Okay, right? Not that I can do anything about it, but it's interesting to see it. And so that's what you'll find that in these videos when I go through them, that some days, every time, the top one is the one that you're like, wow, that was pretty cool. I do not use a slow-mo editor, Randy. I am very, very low tech. That's my phone, actually. My phone is sitting above my table like this, and it's an iPhone, right? So it's got a really good camera. You see how clear those dice are, but it's not like high frames per second. When I bring it down to edit it, all I can really do is start the editing. I kind of slice out where the dice start being in camera and slice out where they stop being in camera or where they stop. And I take that little snippet out and make it a video. That's all I really do. I don't have a good way to do it. I literally fumbling around here like an idiot, right? But yeah. So yeah, it's still too fast. I know. The iPhone doesn't do, I think it's 60 frames per second or something, or maybe it's 180. It's not great. The iPad, actually, my iPad's better at higher frames per second, so you can really see the rotations, but the clarity's not there. It's like the camera quality is not good, so they're fuzzy. So the iPad makes fuzzy, but they're super slow. The iPhone is super clear, but they're still kind of fast, right? So you take the good with the bad. I'm doing the best I can with what I've got, right? I don't have a really good slow-mo camera. At some point, if I get good enough and we think it's necessary, I wouldn't mind buying something that's a little better for that. But for now, that's what I'm doing. So, all right. Nemo says John gets it. Even a dumbass knows the chopper, right? Even your dumbass knows, right? That's what it is, right? You're just hoping against hope that something stays doing this, and you're hoping against hope that you don't come flying off that wall, right? The chopper does a really good job of putting the brakes on the dice, right? When you throw it correctly, it puts the brakes on really well. And so even when they hit, they don't hit and go crazy unless they hit each other. So that is fun. All right, let's see. Yeah, the problem is those cameras are expensive, right? And that's not my thing, right? I'm not a DI guy, right? If I was a DI channel like Advantage Player or or maybe Ed or some of these other guys, if that was my mission in life to be a DI and to teach DI, I could see investing in better equipment, right? I'm here teaching you guys about setting goals and not betting like a dumbass, right? And my dice throwing is an augmentation of what I do. It's not what I do. So I hear you. Maybe someday we'll do some better stuff. Jen says you think there's a slow-mo setting on the phone. I'll look for that. When I set it up last time, I looked. I didn't see any dials. The dial that I saw let me zoom in, but didn't let me slow the thing down. I'll look again. Maybe there's something in there. I'll find it. If there is, I'll find it. I'll go do some searching today. Yeah, James. Yeah, right. So what I really need in my life is Adam Savage, right? Right. If we had a real slow-mo camera and we had like what is that thing called? They put like the big ruler up, so when you're throwing stuff, you can see how fast it's going. It'd be very interesting to see, and like a pressure plate, right? I would love to know. Man, wouldn't it be cool to know from throw to throw what your velocity was, what your landing angle was, what your angle of attack was, and what your spin rate was, and what your impact to the table was. I would love to be able to capture all that, like scientifically. Like if I'm doing, this is what I was going to say. The guy that made that little arm that threw that Jeremy had, remember when I said to you they didn't do the experiment right? This is what I'm talking about, right? This is what you want to see. Is the launch angle, velocity, angle of descent, the impact on the table, is all of that the same every single time? Now with machine, it probably is, but they didn't log any of that stuff, right? Then you want to say, can a human do it? Can a human match all that stuff, right? Can I get the same every single time? That's interesting stuff, right? More money than I can afford to buy that kind of equipment to test it all, but man, that would be so cool, wouldn't it, to have all that information? Anyway, I'm done. Let's go play some craps. Let's go over here. Daily paycheck. I'm gonna go make a paycheck. Today we're gonna do a little bit of throwdown. Right now we're 18-5. We're up $5,000, which means we are up over our initial buy-in. We're not touching our bankroll anymore, which is awesome. So we have 77% win rate so far. Average win's about $700. Now I'm gonna play the Horseman today, and the reason I'm gonna play it is this. I'm gonna go to my table here and show you what I want to show you. Let's put the light back on. And let's go to the table. Come on, table view, please. There we go. All right, awesome. So what Ken from Ken Knows Gambling has been doing is the Horseman, which he's done an interesting job with it, I think. Basically, he's playing it like this. He's going like we do. Take the $500 as 5 blacks, okay? And we're doing it at this level. He goes $200 on the don't, and then 3 come bets, which is exactly what I told him I do. Right, let's do it like that. Let's do 200 and 300. 2 to 1 is the right ratio. Whether it's greens or reds or blacks, it's 2 to 1. That's, to me, the golden ratio. Now, what I have been doing is this. We throw a come out, you know what, right? And we lose this, okay? What I have been doing is going back out at 100, and these two here become 50, 50, 50, and the last $50 I'll use as odds either on one of those or I'll lay it down here, right? That's what I've been doing, okay? Going back out, having the size of the bets, maybe the next series can win me back $300. What Ken has been doing is saying, well, instead of 3 come bets, screw that. All goes to the don't pass. And we're just gonna go and hammer it up like that. That's what Ken does. I'm gonna play those two side by side. I'm gonna play those two ways, and just for whatever number of rolls here, let's just see how it works. So I'm going to get $500 for him. I'm going to get $500 for this guy. And we're just going to random randy it here in front of ourselves and play this out and see what happens. All right. I don't really care about any DI or anything else. I just want to roll the dice. And matter of fact, what I'm going to do is change to this view screen for you here. And again, I'm getting the screensaver to come on for some reason. We're just going to zoom into the bets because, again, the rolls don't matter. I'm just going to roll them right here, just like that. So, because who cares, right? Here we go. So both guys are out for $200. I'll put myself on the right side. I'll put Ken's version over here. Ken will be in the front. I will be in the back. Simple, easy peasy. Here we go. Coming out, and we got a 9. Where's my puck? 9 is the point. Awesome. We're both playing straight. No, there's no difference here, right? The difference also will be I will play box numbers as they hit. You'll see what I mean by that. We get picked on the 9. All right, so both of us move to the 9. Puck is off. Both lose, okay? We're both playing the same thing here, right? What Ken was doing was coming back out, I think, with another don't pass here, which is probably what I would do in this case. Instead of going for just 3 come bets, right? We reduce back down and do 1 each on the don't, get another don't point working, and then hopefully get up to the top. Here we go. Now we have no 6 and a go 9. Playing out. Here we go. And we got the 7, which is perfect, right? These two lose. Okay? But you get paid in the come, you get paid in the don't, and the net effect is both players lose $100. They both have $400 coming back. So on that first shooter, you're down 100. We'll put this over here on the side. Okay? And again, as we can replenish clean shooters, we'll do that. So let's go back out $500 again each guy. We'll see, again, we're looking for a difference to be made. 1, 2, and 1, 2, 3. There's $200 out there, $300 in the rack for the next thing. Let's come out. We catch a come out 7. That's where the differences happen. And again, we'll play it out. We have differences on the come out and differences in the cases where the box numbers pay. All right. Another 9. Please, let's avoid that 9. One more time. There's our 2 come bets. And we got a 4. Cool. Both come bets go to the 4. Both guys come back out. It's a 4. How amazing is that? Off and on for both players. So both players are going to get paid $100 off and on. Okay. When I say off and on, that means this comes off and gets paid. That one goes on. Comeback goes back in. You get $100 back. So both players win $100. Now here's a difference between Ken and me. Okay. When that happens in the middle of a roll, first thing I'm going to do is this, right? We know we have our next come bet out there. I know I have my next come bet here is ready. Ken will take that $100 and stash it. Okay. Matter of fact, that becomes 500. That's his shooter back in his rack. That's how he looks at it. Okay. For me, that same $100, I could do the same thing. Okay. What I'm going to do though is this. I'm going to take the 100, get greens for it. And we're going to go green, 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 like that. We're going to take that first come bet win and get out there with place bets. Okay. So the difference is this, right? If I take this $500 that we have here, I'm still down the 400, right? With 1 come bet to play. Ken's got his money back with 1 come bet to play. So I put that money back out in action. He doesn't do that. Okay. But again, it's the option. We both lose in the come on a 3, and our last come bet is coming out. Here we go. 5. Perfect. So the come bets go to the 5. I'm getting paid $35 and coming down off that 5. Right? So we both have the come 4, the come 5. I've got 3 extra bets sitting out there that I can play the rollout with. And again, those are 3 paid for bets. Actually, the $35 extra bonus money came back. And the quarter too. The quarter plus 35. So that's what comes back to my rack. 9. Oh my God, we got picked on the 9 again. Are you kidding me? Brutal, man. Brutal. All right. So I'm going to reset. That's the shooter getting picked off. We're going to reset everything. I'll bring these back and we'll start over again. So this all goes over here. Now, if I look at my rack, there's 400. The greens make 500. Back to even, right? We both are down in our rack. We have $200 out there, and we've got 500 here. So we're both down the same amount of money. Let's put $500 more out. Restart it. There's 5. There's 5. 200 and 200. We'll restart the series. Here we go. Actually, no, I'm not doing that. Sorry, I'm still in the same. We're still in the same shooter. What am I doing? What am I doing? Let those bets play. I don't know why. This is why I can't talk and think at the same time. Those bets have to resolve before we do a new shooter. So there's the next shooter's money prepped and ready to go. I'm just a dumbass. I got to put this back out here. God, somebody help me. There we go. This is how it was set up. I had the 3 place bets out there. The 9 was off. Sorry about that. I totally screwed that up. All right, here we go. Coming out. Come bets, of course, are working on the come out. There's an 11. There's a 12. Good gravy. There's a 9. Back to the 9. But the 9 has been hot. Okay, we'll let those 2 come bets resolve before we call the shooter over. That was my mistake. And I'll let those bets play out. 5. Hey, look at that. They both paid. Booyah. Both guys get paid $100. That's awesome. That is really awesome. I'll put that over here, actually. I'll take a quarter and go back on the 5 with it. There's a 6. That pays 35. Again, I'm just gonna same bet. I'm not gonna do anything kooky up there. I'm just gonna collect. You can do whatever you want to, obviously, but I just want to get some right side action while things are going on. There's a $35 winner again. Right, so the shooter does have a roll. While you're waiting for those come bets to resolve, you can make some cash anyway. The 9 again hits. There's a 4 as the come out, and that's beautiful. Both players win 100. That's great. That's great. All right. Puck is going to be off. Or no, puck's on. We're still playing out there. So Ken's done, right? Ken has all the bets resolved. That whole $500, we won and lost, won the come bets. He's done, right? What Ken's been playing this thing on his show, he's done. We take the $500 and get a purple for it. He's got $400 here, which means he is down for the day $100. Okay. If I did the same thing, there's $500 in black, right? I've got 300 and whatever this is, 375. So I'm down a little bit less or a little more than he is, but I have action, right? I take the first come bet win and try and play with it. That's the main difference. And of course, that come out 7. Here we go. Point is 4. I'm going to stay out and play the rollout, where Ken will wait until this happens. There's a 7. Lose the 125. So now we can really look at the racks, right? I'm going to get this as a quarter. 350, 355. He's got 400. We had the exact same rolls, right? He did better in the end by not playing the place bets, but I had more fun. All right, here we go. $500 each again. Let's do it one more time. 4 and 5. All right, we're both going to have 2 and 3 bullets. I want to get a come out 7 or come out 11 to show you the difference between how he and I play it out. Besides the place bet thing, we do that one piece different. There's a come out 7. Perfect. Okay, here's going to be the differences. Awesome. I'm so glad that happened. Okay, so Ken is going F you, $300 on the don't pass. That's his change to the Horseman, which I like this change. He's 16-0 or something like that, right? This was a change he made on his 4th show, which I like this almost better than what I do, which is to go back out at $100. I go out at 100, half size my bet, and I'll have half size come bets. Here we go. We got a 10. What a beautiful point, right? 10 is the point. Now he's done. He's not playing any come bets. He's just going to let that big don't resolve. I'm going to come out $50 coming with 25 or $50 in change. I may actually put that as a lay, right? I may put that as a lay. If I catch an 11 in here, I'll put that as a lay. If I get a come bet to win, I may put that as my lay. And against the 10, I may go ahead and do that. Here we go. What happens now? 7. This is a great example. My goodness. So Ken, right, gets back the bullet that he lost, right? He lost that $200, right? And some. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and $100 in profit on that shooter. That big screw you move that he makes has been working for him, and it worked here too. There's a nickel for that, right? We'll put that back in his rack with his 100. These 5 chips become another purple for him, right? And check out the rack now. That move puts him back in a tie situation, right? That's beautiful. For me, I went 100 here. I win 50 here, and I win 25 on those odds. Okay. Remember, I lost 200 bucks on the come out. So where did I land here on this whole thing? Let's take all this down, right? 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. I have 1, 2, 300, 475 bucks. I end up being down a quarter, right? Again, the PSO is nice in that situation. I had to put the odds down here, of course, because of the point, right? And I had to get a PSO to get the perfect result there. And even then, my money's not recovered, whereas Ken made 100 bucks. He recovered the $100 he was down. Isn't that great? I like that tweak a whole lot. I really do. I think it's kind of a cool, oh, put that mic back in the rack here. 1, 2, 3, 475. Okay, good tweak that he did. I'm glad we got a chance to see that in action. Let's go ahead and play it out again. I'm going to make sure that my rack is right. 500. I'm doing all this chip demonstration. I'm not even sure where I am in the rack. All right, let's get him 5 blacks. We'll do it one more time. He's got 200 in action. 3 bullets. I've already got my 500 from that demonstration. There's my 2, and there's 1, 2, 3 bullets. Here we go, coming out. That's the 7 on the come out. We get to do it again. Wow, what a bummer. I'm out for 1. He's out for 3. It's going to be a 5. We're going to both fight the 5. I'm going to fight it with green chips. We're going to go 2 in the come and 2 change. It goes to a 10. I'm going to come a second time. There's the 5. Wow, we both got whacked on that. So I'm going to come back to the 5. Both of the DP bets lose. Now, Ken's out the whole 500. Here's another flip to that, right? He's out the whole 500. I've actually got 2 come bets sitting out there, right? And I'm supposed to do a third come bet. I'm going to take that 100 bucks as greens and do a third come bet. In my case, I'll put it in the pass line. It ends up being the exact same thing. We'll go to the pass line with it. And I can take that extra 50 bucks that I've got and just kind of save it here. I may go odds or whatever else. Let's get a point here. Remember, 7 takes those 2, but we win 1 down here. We got an 11 yo. Awesome. There's the yo. That's great. I can same bet it, right? Or I can press that up a little bit. What I'll probably do is take these 2. I'll press it by 1 and take 1 back with me. There's a 9, and let's go. Let's play it out. I do have 75 bucks, right? We could go odds there and just single odds on the 10, just not to burn all the money. And put, again, our whole $500 is out here working now, but I've got it all on the right side. So I switched over, right? There's a 4. Looking for 5, 9, or 10. 8. 5. Sweet. That's going to pay. It's going to come down. We get paid 50 flat, 75 odds. And I will probably come again. I'll let it keep going. I'm going to let this thing roll itself out here. Aces. Of course it's aces. There goes my profits. I won't come again after that. 9. Pay 75 on the line. Right? And now I'll go back down to 2. Bring back my greens. Puck is off. There's the 10. That's great. And if you don't know me, my odds always work. I never turn the odds off. So I'm getting paid on that one. Point is 10. Greens are in the rack. We can elect to keep on going with this thing or let it just solve itself out, right? And what I've got back in the rack, by the way, let's add this up so you can see where we are. 100. 200, 300, 450 bucks, right? So I got 450 plus this here. I'm essentially good after that ass kicking, right? So Ken took the whole ass kicking, right? At worst, I'm going to be out 100 bucks here, right? I've got 400 bucks here. I got 50 bucks here. I'm going to get the 6 and the 8 and play it out. That's it. Okay? Transition from that dark side stuff into this. Now, of course, we're going to lose it all. Fine. It's fine. We got back 400 bucks out of the 5, right? where he had a full loss, we have a partial loss. And again, I think it's just interesting, right? The move he makes, the big hammer here, when it works, it gets it all back +1. When it doesn't work, you're out the whole 500, right? Going back out like I did at half of that, 100, 50, 50, 50, gives me a chance on a halfway okay roll to get back almost all of it. So instead of losing 5, I lost 1 on that same exact shooter. So, and if you look at the racks now, there's $500. We're in the exact same spot. We both have 4,500. However, I've got an extra now 220 over here. So I'm down 300 instead of being down 500 after that last butt kicking. So the Horseman, my favorite thing about this strategy is exactly what we're seeing here, is that you can play it so many ways. It's a great starting bet. You follow me? It's a great way to just kind of, one more time, we'll do it, to get yourself going. You don't got to play this every single shooter every single time, but it's a good way to get going, I think. You can make your adjustments. Again, strategy of the year kind of thing, right? You can make your adjustments once you're set or you get picked, right? You could even get down here and get super aggressive. Let be kind of nice if we got a like an ace deuce or something. Frickin' 7. Shoot, I want to get like an ace deuce winner out here. So again, Ken, screw you. John, not so much. We're gonna go out here half size, right? We're gonna go $100, and then I'll get change. And I'm gonna go out there and baby size it. We'll see what happens. Who has a better time this time? 6. All right, I get to come a couple times. Once with $50. It goes to the 5. Again for $50. It's a 3, which blows. Last one. $50 and 50 change. Come on. Oh my God, it's aces. Are you kidding me? Lost all 3 come bets. How brutal is that? So all I've got is the don't, and I've got the 5. And here is a case where Ken comes out on top by $100, right? I'm going to lose the 5. I'll get paid $100 down here, right? So the net is I've got 250 left from that shooter. The other way of playing, Ken actually gets his $500 back plus 100. He actually is up 100. Look at that. The ebbs and flows of this game are crazy, aren't they? He's actually earned $100 back. I lost 250. In the exact same scenario as the last shooter was, right? Come out 7, we both played it differently. That's twice he's won that, by the way. So let's keep track of that. We'll do one more shooter. Let's see, do I have enough to do it with the money I've got in front of me? I think I do. I do. I may have to get change. There's 200 there. Let's get Ken 200 and 1, 2, 3 change. Here we go, coming out. How about not a come out 7 this time? All right, 6. Cool. Ken comes for 100. John comes for 100. Let's get a nice little PSO here, huh? Nice PSO. Boom. Love it. Love this strategy. $100 each on the come, $200 each on the don't. And there is your 1, 2, 3, 4, 500 plus a profit. 500 plus a profit. How awesome. What a great way to play. All right, here we go. There's your purples back in your rack. There's our profits. And look at us go, man. Look at us go. That's great. Ken actually, because of that, is even, right? I am 150, 170 now. So I'm down like 325 or something, right? But look, we played what, 5 shooters? Have we been in danger at all in 5 shooters? Like literally, we've had come out 7s. We've had PSOs, we've had all the random things, the come bets getting picked off, right? We've been playing at the black chip level, 200 and 100, right? Both of us, we've had what, 6 shooters, I think? 6, maybe 7 shooters. We're both basically even. Ken is even. I'm down, whatever, a couple $100, right? From a comp standpoint, great way to play. From a time standpoint, do the same thing at a normal person's level, right? 25 on the don't, and then 3 $10 size come bets, right? You can afford that. That's not black chip level, but that's still 25, 35, 45, $55 per shooter. It's still 2 to 1, thereabouts. A little bit over leveraged here, but 2 to 1. You can do that all day long and win unit after unit after unit, tie, 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 tie. It's awesome. Anyway, I wanted to get a little lens on that and show, again, some of the small differences between the way that Ken does that one move versus me coming out with half size. Also, when a come bet pays, what happens? Let's do another shooter, and maybe we'll get some come bets to pay this time. There's 2 with 3 bullets, 2 for me, and 3 bullets. I want to get a come bet to pay, so I can go right side again. There's a 5. And we got a 6. That's good. They both get to move. Another come bet. 6, off and on for $100. We each get $100 out of that. Fantastic. Profit size that up. And we give it right back. Did I put? Oh, I did. There it is. Just put it right back out there. Third and last come bet. 7. Lose there. Boy, how true to life is this? And doesn't craps work this way all the freaking time, right? Again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and $100 in profit. Both guys get their money back, plus a profit unit. And we had 1 bullet left from before. That's beautiful. Let's go back to the rack. One more time. I really want to see, goodness gracious, I really want to see a come bet win. We haven't had a come bet win yet. Isn't that insane? Not one win in the come. Here we go, coming out. Oh, no, we had 1. We had 1 win. 1 come bet 1. There's the 4. That's beautiful. All right, here we go. Both guys are coming for $100, and we got a 10. Ugly. Love it when the 10 is where the come bets go with no odds. All right, there is a 6. Both guys go to the 6. Can we get one to hit and have some difference making? Nope. Aces. Okay, so both guys losing the come. That's it, right? It's 1, 1, 1. Play it out. 11, yo. Would have got our money back, damn it. A 6. Here we go. Difference maker. Off and on. Or off. They both come down. They both get paid. Ken takes the money back and holds on to it. John takes the original bet back, takes this $100 and gets whatever's missing. Like so. I will cap the 6 and 8 to have the reds, but 25 is fine. Now I'm going to take that win, that 1 win, and keep playing. Ken stacked it up for later. We catch a quick 7 here, I'm going to be in trouble. If we don't catch a 7 here, we'll be okay, right? That 9 pays $35. I will make it look like 35 and take back a quarter. Give me a 10. It's a 7. Huge bummer. So I get nothing out of that, right? I get an extra $25, but I burned the right side. Again, had opportunity to keep playing. Didn't work out for me. Lose 2, but win 2. And win 2. And there we go. I think we're going to be okay. I think Ken's going to make money. Ken's going to be, there's $500. He's up $300. Look at that. Me, there's 500. There's 2, 3, 75. Oh my gosh. So I'm going to be $385. I lost $115. Ken made 300. Why? Because I was a little more aggressive on the win. I took the win and let's play some right side. Let's convert over to right side. That cost me $100 a couple of times, right? Other difference is that Ken takes that $300 that's left, hammers this bet instead of half sizing the bet. I go out there half size, right? It worked for me once. It didn't work for me twice. This was the better way to do it. Ultimately, that worked out better in this session. If you watch Ken Knows Gambling's whole series, he's done that every single time, and it's worked out for him. He's in this spot almost every show, where he in and out, tie, win, and all of a sudden he's got his money and he's gone, right? I'd still be playing because I haven't hit my profit level yet. So I think it's cool that Ken's doing it. I love this tweak of hammering the don't. I'm going to work that in, I think. I'm probably going to still keep playing the right side after I catch a comeback win, but I really like the I got whacked. Let's go right back at it again. It's a really interesting, aggressive way to play that thing. So there it is. That's my comparison. That's my Throwdown Thursday. And it's not really a versus thing to me. I don't look at it as me versus Ken. It's this way of doing the Horseman versus that way of doing the Horseman. The Horseman, at its core, don't pass, come, come, come. There's so many things you can do with that. Take that first combat win, drop it in as odds on the don't. Take the first combat win, go across like I did. Take the first combat win and stack it. Take the first combat win, grab odds on one of your combats. Take the first combat win, go back into come again. Right? Just keep recycling them. There's so many ways to play it once your base is set. I think it's a very interesting strategy that's a baseline that gives you a million ways to go. And I don't play it enough. I've been doing a lot more just go across, press kind of thing. And I'm really got to come back to my roots and play this more and more often because it just is a good jumping ground. So let's go through some comments here and see if there's anything interesting here. So let's see. Sam Grastein had a convert combat play. Yeah, converting combats is a great way to do it. I know that some people do place bets to like combats to place bets, or other way around. Like they'll place bets first, then come in the come. When the place bet wins, the come bet goes up, and they use the winnings as odds. That way's never going to work. That way's too grindy. All you ever do is get part of your money back. You're not really ever profiting. You got to make sure you're doing this in such a way that you're bringing money back as well as keep playing, and that's part of the problem with that one. But I've seen that before. Let's see. Yeah, oh God, boy, that drives me crazy. Nothing has to be paid twice. That's, I just don't like that. Let's see, what do we have here? Vince, wait a minute. Vince, is Vince Armenta here? I just saw this name. Shaq said, no virtue in delaying the odds bets. There isn't, other than what I'm doing here, right? I'm fond of delaying the odds for sure. I do. I do delay it only because of what I'm going for here. And let me go back to the screen, because when I'm playing the straight, again, this is the Horseman, so it's different. There's no odds in this one. There's never odds here. This strategy is 100% about the 7, right? It's a dark side strategy. You want to have a big don't, and I want the 7 here, right? Obviously, if it gets set and I'm here, I still want the 7, right? If I were to take $100 and go odds on the 8 and the 7 comes, right? In this moment, and that's only single odds, right? In this moment, what happens, I lose 2, right? And of course, I'm going to win 3 total. Right? I'd be up in that case, but look at the difference though, right? If I have my combat here and I win 3 and lose 1, it's a whole unit in difference, right? On the 7. Again, I'm trying for the 7. I'm not trying for the 8 right now. If the 8 comes, it's a bonus to me. I'm not looking for it. On the second combat, right? If I catch a 7 here, these 2 bets are effectively a wash, right? Don't care about that. I'm still playing this. I'm still a dark side player. But if it goes somewhere like the 9, my third combat, I'm still going to be in profit on the 7. I'm still looking for that short roll. Those 2 lose, but they fund that payment down there plus the 1, and I'm out of the hand, right? I've got, even on that third roll, I'm making money. The whole point of this strategy is not to be a right side molly player, right? The whole point of the Horseman is to be a dark side player early, right? If we know the average roll length is 8.5, that means half the rolls are about 4, right? Set the point, 1, 2, 3. That third one, most of the time is going to be a 7. That's the median, right? You're going to be those early 3 rolls are 7s more often than not, right? That's what that strategy is designed for. Catch those. If you get past it and they're all set up there, great. Go up there with odds, right? I've done the Horseman like this. Actually, another example. I've done it like this too, where I say, let's go 200 here, right? And if I was going to do $300 for 3 combats, right? So I'll set that aside, right? What I might do is take one of those $300 and say, let's go 50 in the come, let it go to the 9, and put the 50 up as odds, right? I'll take a little bit less on the 7. So the next combat, $50, it goes to the 8, 50 as odds. That's different than having $200 combats, right? The 7 impact, of course, is lessened because you're only getting $50 in the come, but the right side impact is better because you're going to get some juice on the win. right? Again, you have all those options open to you, which I think is to me, the beauty part of the strategy is that, right? If you want to be an odds player, play the odds, right? Go out there and do your odds. If you want to be a flat better and hammer the 7 earlier, bigger come bets, no odds, right? It's up to you how you play that, right? And that's the one thing about that way of playing that I like the best is the options that I get from it. Again, if I'm a whatever, throwing in the zone and I want to go right side, I wouldn't do that, right? You're going to go across and hope for the best. But anyway, it's food for thought, right? I think as a paycheck system, Ken's been undefeated with it. It's worked really well for me in the past. The drawdown, also a great paycheck system, but the risk is so much more. All right. Gotta go. All right. Let's see. Yeah, a lot of big bettors. James is saying start across and replace them with come bets. This way they collect on the box numbers. The problem with that is this. You go 64 across, $10 in the come, right? You roll a 6, come bet goes to the 6. You get your $14 payment. Most players will say up with odds. They'll put their original bet plus the win up as odds on the 6, and they bring back $4 to the rack, right? You've gotten nothing out of that. If you're going to do that and you replace the base, so you get paid your $14, right? Come bet goes in, single odds, so you bring back $16. That way you're profiting for. You get back your original 6 bet, your place bet, plus a few bucks extra. That's a better way to do that. But even then, on that hit, you're only getting $4, right? You're bringing back very little. Over time, those bets don't replace themselves fast enough to make any money. David was telling a story about a guy who did that for years and lost tens of thousands of dollars going across and doing 3 come bets and replacing them with odds. The guy just got his ass kicked over the course of his life because you don't bring enough money off, right? That's why this one limits itself to what it does. And I think, again, you can make your own choices. All right, I'm out of here. Good morning. It was 8:38. I got a meeting at 9. So y'all are cool for being here. I appreciate coming back in and watching and hanging out. And again, I'll do some slow-mo work today. Tomorrow, better breakdowns of that thing. And hopefully you'll enjoy what you see. I'm going to be talking to Ed. I'm not sure when, tonight, tomorrow, over the weekend. We're going to break down my 720 throws with my chopper toss in Bone Tracker. And we'll do a full reporting of that soon. So anyway, love y'all. Have a good one. Bye.